Hey, so thanks so much for trying the app builder. So this is MagicTasks, and the idea behind it is that most of the AI app builders that are out there are front-end based, and so they really struggle once you get to something a bit complicated and start using external APIs. And so the idea behind MagicTasks is, unlike those, this is full stack from the start. So we immediately create an app with a front end and a back end attached, with a database and authentication and storage and functions and all of those kinds of things, and something you can have running, and then you can shut down whenever you like, and build with AI. So that's the idea behind it. I'm just going to quickly show you how you can make something full stack with it really quickly, and how to get the most out of it. So in this example, I'm going to show you how to make an app to help doctors, and it's going to be something which they can switch on. So at the end of a consultation, it's usually useful to send patients like a bit of a summary about what was discussed, but doctors don't have time to do that. So this is going to be an app that's going to transcribe the consultation in the background, and then it's going to generate a summary, and then it's going to make a PDF that they can download and then print out for the patient, or send on, or something like that. So we're just going to make that really quickly. So the first thing is to put in a name. So we make a unique subdomain for each app. So I've tested this a couple of times. So transcribe PDF4, it's good. So the next thing is to put in like quite a detailed instructions into what we want. So please make an app that uses the browser microphone to transcribe consultations for doctors, and then generates a patient-friendly summary, which can be downloaded as PDF on letter-headed paper. Please make up the address. Please make up the address of a medical center. That's great. So the next thing is to choose an AI model. I'm going to stick with Gemini 2.5 Pro, but we've connected all of this with a system called openai, which gives you access to pretty much all AI models. So you can find openai's models in here. You can find anthropic's ones, and so you can compare and contrast which ones are best. Gemini 2.5 Pro right now is pretty good. So the next thing you can add, if we had a logo, we'd kind of add that here so that it could put that on there. Yeah, but we don't have it. And then the next thing, I think one of the most important things about making these things full stack is that the AIs aren't as good at interacting with the APIs than they are with making front ends. And the reason for that is the API responses can be a little bit unpredictable. So what I tend to do, this is an area where you can like copy and paste API specs or anything that's useful, any guidelines. And usually what you want to go to is the developer documentation. So, I go to Gemini Audio, because we're going to use Gemini for the transcription, because it's really good. And also, if somebody wanted to use this for going into healthcare, Google Cloud is fantastic. They have the best privacy regulations, in my opinion. So you don't need to read this, you just need to copy and paste the relevant bits. So that's going to be relevant because it's showing us how to transcribe audio. It's also going to give us stuff about how to create text. And then another area that's kind of important is how to add the API keys. So we would just want to go to this bit, and we're going to just copy and paste this. So we'll just trigger this. Okay, great. And that's it. All you need to do. And we're just going to build the app. That's great. And you can see that it's setting up a project, creating a React front end, and then setting up the Firebase backend. So MagicTasks is JavaScript everywhere. So when we were selecting out of these code options you've got here on Google, you can choose JavaScript as your option. If you don't have that, you can choose REST. And it's JavaScript everywhere, so it spins up a React front end and a Firebase backend using the Firebase emulators. So you get React on the front end, and then database, storage, authentication, and serverless functions on the back end to develop with. And these are the emulators. And so yeah, it's JavaScript everywhere, and yeah, it's just here, and it's all inside a Docker container which is running. So we run a Docker container for you, and with all of these services inside, and then we tell the AI basically this is what you use to build things, and this is how you build it, and give a few examples, and that tends to push it, help push it in the right direction. So when you create your app, you'll get what we call a loop plan, and that is just a series of steps it's going to take to try to achieve your goal. So we've set this at 3 loops. So the following is the loop plan. Update the UI in app.js with a record button and a transcript display area, and create a Firebase function to process microphone inputs with the Gemini API. Step 2, implement a generate summary Firebase function to create a patient-friendly summary from the transcript, and add a button. And then step 3, develop a generate PDF Firebase function to convert the summary into a downloadable PDF. Okay, that's perfect. So you can see that you can kind of see how this would work. So we type into here, if once the looping is finished, we can type into there, please turn the background blue. And on the left, it will just happen. That's really useful for the front end. It's quite easy for the front end. The back end is slightly more difficult. The best way to work with the back end is to look at the logs. So we can click on logs in that area of the menu, and you can see whether, you see it's successfully loaded a generate summary function. Best thing with the logs actually is not actually reading the logs, obviously. It's just, if there's an error, you just copy and paste them into this little box, and very often it will fix it itself. Okay, that's great. So we're going to loop 3. Some other things you can do in here, you can add images. So yeah, that's quite useful for logos and things like that. You can change the AI model. We've covered that. You can initiate loops. You can revert changes. This is really, really useful for if you don't like a change or there's an error or something like that, just click that and it will just jump back to the last version, and you can keep jumping back and back until you're happy. Clear conversation is useful if it's continually making the same error over and over again. It's just because the conversation's got too long, and at some points we're going to make it so that it automatically gets rid of that. But for the moment, clear conversation is really useful. Environment variables, you can see that these are the secrets, like secret keys and things like that. We're going to add our Gemini key in 1 second. Credits, add documentation. We can just edit that documentation. Editing code, you can import the code, and we can actually have a look at this generate summaries here. This is a separate function. So having a look at this, so we're using Google. It's expecting the API key in here. It's giving a prompt which we can edit. And console logging the summary. Okay, cool. We can look at that. So we can actually make changes and click save, and then we're done. Okay, cool. If you can actually clone the app. So if you're happy with an app, you can actually make a clone of it. You can send it to other people. They can make their own version of it. So yeah. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to add our API key and just try it out. Okay, that's our API key. So this is going to be stored in a place where the AI can't see that API key. You can see that the environment variable added successfully. So this is separated from the AI. And then I'm just going to check the logs. Looks good. Okay, cool. So we're going to say, let's start. It's asking for microphone permissions. Okay, so this is a consultation for somebody who has a severe headache, migraine, and we're going to give them aspirin. Yes, you can pop this up and minimize it as you like. Okay, so this has created this transcript. Okay, so this is a consultation for somebody who's severe headache, migraine. We're going to give them aspirin. Okay, generate the summary. So this works. Summary of your consultation. This consultation focused on addressing your severe headache symptoms. Okay, I would use, so I think in the code, I think generate summary is still using Flash, so I would actually switch this to Pro, Gemini 2.5 Pro, because it would be much better summaries. But anyway, so let's see, let's download this as a PDF, see if this works. There we go, Wellness Grove Medical Center. There we go. So we could print this out or whatever. So yeah, there's a bunch of like small things that then you probably need to do some Googling for. So like handling really big files, recording files, there's like some slight nuances there, but for the most part, this works pretty well as a prototype. So yeah, that's not completely short, but an overview of like how the app builder works. You can shut these apps down whenever you like. So I could shut this down; it wouldn't cost me anything. And yeah, we give a bunch of free credits just to try it out and give feedback. And yeah, please let us know your feedback, because it would be really useful to know like what works well, what doesn't work, what you like, what you don't like. Thanks very much.